Terry Bean, how are you?
Beezer, I'm fantastic, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Excellent. So today we're here with Terry Bean, relatability coach, keynote speaker, the guy who enables others to achieve more through creations like Motor City Connect. Boy, that goes way back, doesn't it?
Sure does.
TEDx and TEDx Detroit. You're published twice, an author, right? And a Presidential Volunteer Service Award winner.
All true, man. All things that I've
Fantastic.
been blessed to do.
Privileged to have you with us today, Terry. Thanks for taking the time and giving a few minutes of your day here.
Looking forward to the conversation, my friend.
Excellent. So this is the bigger game from surviving to thriving, and it's the bigger game is really where I didn't take the short term win and played for the long term, right? The bigger game. I didn't let my ego kick in and abuse somebody and get what I wanted in the short term. And then, deal with the repercussions of that over and over again, because now my ego won't let me apologize to that person. And I continue to carry that weight. Plus the next time I do it, and on and on and on, right? All that weight I carry going forward. So anywhere where I can play the bigger game, I take my life from surviving to thriving is the context, right? So maybe you want to share what you think when you hear the bigger game, kind of what does that, where does that make you think of?
I'll be honest, that's not what I thought of when I first heard it, right? I was thinking about just the game of life, right? And how most people show up a little bit too small, and we've got so much more to be able to step into and give. So that was my first understanding, is wrong or as different as it may be. But I like this idea about like the bigger game or higher ground or being the bigger, better person in a situation. I would love to share examples and stories of that, but I'm so naturally wired to put others first. I don't have a lot of situations where I've stepped on someone so I could win right now and then had to feel bad about it later. I've probably been more of a walking of like a floor mat. And I'm okay with that because I know long term it's a better way to live than to be the one with the boot on others.
Interesting. So tell us more about relatability factor, the coaching that you do. Share a bit about that. Give us some nuggets.
Yeah, man. So the idea of the relatability factor is pretty straightforward. There's three things that we really need to relate to if we're going to move from survive to thrive. Number one is we've got to relate to us, right? We've got to know who we are, know what we want, know where we're going, and then actually take the actions to do that. And that action phase is important because, as you know, our energy ebbs and flows throughout the day. So understanding and having that awareness of when to do the things that take the most energy and when we can kind of slack off and do the things that take less energy, and mapping that through our day is super important. So that's one. Two is our ability to relate to and connect with others. And most of this falls under the communication skills. How do we listen? How do we show up? How do we take the time to care about other people? What's our empathy level? All that fun, happy stuff. And then the third one is all about our communication, because let's face it, right now, online communique is where as many of us are meeting, if not more so, than doing the thing you and I did 20 gazillion years ago in face-to-face conversation.
Has it really been that long? 20 years?
20
How long have I known
gazillion?
you? 20
20
gazillion? Something like
gazillion.
that.
It's
Yeah, excellent.
honestly, hey, Beezer, it's some point within probably this month, it's 25 years.
Wow. What a blessing.
Yeah, what a
Fantastic.
blessing,
So yes,
man.
when you look at the difference between, what we did 20, 25 years ago now, wow, when it was face to face, and like you said, now it's more online. Is there some maybe some pointers you want to leave us with?
Yeah, man. It's always
The differences?
it's number one, it's always the same. It's give first, right? We're at a situation now in 2025 where there's no more really selling. There's the opportunity to help people buy. So educate, inform, give people social proof and the credibility that you have to support them. Those things are all very important. So story selling, far more important than just actually buy my stuff and pounding yourself on the chest, right? The idea of walking someone from where they are to their desired state, showing that transformation becomes really important. And then the example of how you've done that for other folks, big difference, right, in how we communicate. Um, and then the other
So it's
thing,
more so it's more showing than it is telling now.
great, yes, nice. Well,
Yeah,
I'll just have
that's
you summarize everything I say. You're better than ChatGPT, man. That's
I got
it.
to earn my keep somehow. All right, great. Okay, so yeah, so it's more about showing than telling. And then you were going to say something else. What is that? What's the next piece of this?
Consistency, right? We've got to show up kind of the same way, maybe not in the same vein, but with the same core message. If I see you on LinkedIn, I want it to feel like a similar thing, maybe a different story than I might see on Facebook, or I might see on Instagram, or I might see on a podcast, or I might see face to face. But we have to be consistent, and then we have to understand what that frequency level is, right? It's not enough to show up, post, then ghost for a month or 6 months. We've got to come up with some kind of rhythm. Maybe it's only a couple of times a week, but there's got to be some frequency where people can actually get to know who you are. Because in the reality is, all business is relationship business. So we find relationships, we grow relationships through common ground. So it's okay to show 300 degrees of your life. Maybe not all 360. There's some things about everybody that I really don't want to know, but a lot of it, right? Show a lot of who you are. Bring your full self into it.
So consistency, not only in the presentation that I'm putting online from in different platforms or different places, but also consistency in the amount of and how in the frequency of when I post and how I post. So it's kind of regular, so I know what to expect as the recipient of that. Yeah, fantastic. I really like where you went with that, the bigger game, and that's one of the beautiful things about this podcast is that people come on with their own views of what that really means to them, instead of what it meant to you, right? Take people playing small, and not really playing full out. Maybe there's some life nuggets you want to share about your own life where that's something that we can take away and be richer for. If you'd like to
Oh,
share a few things.
yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know me pretty well, right? And I am a confident individual when I am communicating with people one on one or online. I don't have a confidence issue, but I do have a self-worth issue. And that holds me back quite often. I hesitate to pick up the phone and explain my value proposition and how I can be of service to somebody. I hesitate to post some of the stuff that I've done. You asked me for a quick bio. I've got 300 bios, and it still felt awkward for me to send the information to you that I've done. And that's a snippet, like a little baby snippet of what I've been blessed to give to other people. And it's interesting, right? And like so when we're playing full on, when we're playing in our biggest life, it's not about standing there telling you how great I am. It's about being able to say, this is where I've been lucky to be of service or fortunate or blessed or whatever you want to phrase it. And it has a different tone. And frankly, I've learned some of that from chatting with you, Abizer. We've had some discussions around that very topic, as you know all too well. And it's a great reminder that and I don't necessarily have a humility issue. Sometimes I feel like I am overly humble, right? Whereas if I'm trying to be of service and I'm stating facts, those should just flow out of my face. But I get tripped up in my own head going, if I'm telling you all these things that I've been blessed to do, at some point that sounds braggadocious. It doesn't sound like we're trying to be of service. So for me, that's how I end up playing smaller and not stepping into the greatness that I've been fortunate to be bestowed.
So now that you have that awareness, have you found places and have you found access to that in different ways as you've gone through your life?
Absolutely,
Kind of
right?
bigger version of yourself?
And so, I don't claim to be a writer, but I wrote two books, right? And I wrote two books because I knew both of them would be of service to the people that would read them. So I tend to tap into my ability to get stuff done if it's for the betterment of the people around me, right? When it's just for me, I either do it haphazardly or procrastinate on it. So for me to play in my strengths, I've got to understand how is this going to support and serve other people, and then it flows through me. When it's just me trying to do things for me, I find it more challenging to either deliver at the right level, and I have a course, right? It's a workshop. I have a workshop that is scheduled for tomorrow at 11 o'clock that I figured out how to do, wrote up, made the web page, got the sign up sheet, did the email sequence, did the social media marketing, and I've been running it for 6 weeks. I got one person to sign up for it. One. And I graciously decided to bow out of it on Tuesday because it was a low level course, low price entry, low cost of entry. I was already 10 hours of work into it, and it was going to take another 10 hours of work to deliver it. And it was just ridiculously easier to talk to the person who signed up, refund their $54, and not walk away with 20 hours of work at significantly less than minimum wage. Right. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that is as real world of a story as I can share with you from this week.
So what do you attribute that? What do you make that mean? So I mean, I got the part where when it's about you, you end up under delivering, right? When it's in service of others, it's much easier for you to do what there is to be done. And then you gave this example. So when you gave this example recently of this course, how does that play into what you just talked about? Put it all together for
So
me.
it's to me it was a couple of things. One, I tried to do it in a way that was going to be for others, right? And I have a tendency to cram a lot of information into a small pouch. I'm good at that, right? I think quickly, I speak at a decent understandable rate, but I could speak a lot faster, and I have a lot of different wisdom that I've pulled from lots of places, many of it from my own life experience. And so I was trying to put this course together that would be of value to other people and certainly benefit myself on the back end. But it was like too much information, too short a period of time. The transformation didn't seem possible based on the three core areas we were talking about in an hour and 15-minute workshop. And it was like me trying to overprove my value at a very low cost. So it ended up not serving anybody.
Wow, that's quite a message. That's quite
So,
a lesson. Well,
or it
I
was
don't know.
awesome, depending how you look
I
at
don't know
it.
about that, but that epiphany, I mean, is for us as the listeners, it's a huge contribution to us because, I mean, when you look at how that unfolded, try when you look at the dichotomy of self worth and then trying to deliver on this great product, and you put the two together, and you end up with this with one user, it really gives the impact of when I think that way. If I my own lack of self worth trying to deliver this course to humanity, really, right? And how much that gets to my own way of delivering that. So the impact is, the people that didn't get a chance to actually listen. There's one person I got, but the other people that didn't sign up as a result, right? They're now don't have that, that contribution to them, right? So that is huge, and it took something to share that. It's very vulnerable and very open of you to do that, and I want to acknowledge you for that, and I also acknowledge the contribution that is in itself to all of us as we listen to this podcast. So thanks for adding so much value to this to the bigger game.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always a great time to see you, bud.
Yeah. Is there any kind of information you want to leave for us that we can reach out to you if anyone wants to reach out to you? They know how to get a hold of you, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm easiest to find on LinkedIn. So just Terry Bean in the Detroit area. I'm that one. So there's other Terry Beans. Don't get fooled. I'm the I don't know about the original, but I'm this one for sure. And then Trybean, TRYBEAN.com is my website. And there's some valuable videos and resources and tips around mindset and networking and how to be a better speaker and communicator. And those are all things I coach on and help people achieve, right? Because again, my goal has always been, I want you to go from where you are to where you want to be. I'm the mirror to show you who you are and the bridge to get you to where you want to go. And those are the roles I primarily play.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else you want to leave us with today before we call it a show? Call it a wrap?
Yeah. Yeah, man, be good to one another. Please, please, please be good to one another. Start with yourself, but be good to one another.
I love that. That's a great way to end this. Thanks so much, Terry. Thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure.